If you had to rattle off a list of iconic moments in the mainline Pokemon games, one moment that would surely make everybody's list is running into Snorlax in Pokemon Red and Blue. Right outside of Celadon City, you come across a Snorlax sleeping in the middle of the road, blocking you from continuing further. Despite being an incredibly primitive Game Boy game, Pokemon Red and Blue actually contain a little bit of world building about the Snorlax. The Vermilion City police are aware of Snorlax blocking roads and have issued travel warnings. Other trainers mentioned that they've had to take detours because of the Snorlax blocking a couple of routes, showing that other trainers are also on their own Pokemon journey. That's cool and all, but like, have you ever thought about why didn't the police just move the Snorlax? Like, what is Officer Jenny even busy doing? Tear gassing protesters? Coffee! She sure as hell wasn't helping over in Saffron City when Team Rocket took over. Surely, they couldn't have moved Snorlax because it's so big and fat, right? I mean, that's the whole point of Snorlax. He's fat! Snorlax weighs just over 1,000 pounds, which sounds like a lot, but keep in mind how heavy actual animals are. Brown bears weigh up to 1,200 pounds, horses can weigh up to 1,500 pounds, elephants start at like 5,000 pounds. There are professional strongmen like Eddie Hall who can deadlift 1,100 pounds in competition. So you gotta have a strong guy somewhere in Kanto, right? Like Bruno has to be able to come down from Indigo Plateau and just pick up Snorlax and move him out of the way. Pokemon in general are just way lighter than you would expect. Have you ever heard of victim weight? It's a term you'll hear from alpha male influencers and gym cells who are really into Berserk and relate to guts because they can't talk to women. It basically refers to men under 200 pounds. There's a solid chance that your favorite Pokemon is a victim, and I'm not talking about the little guys like Pikachu either. Let's look at fan favorite Short King Charizard. That is a 5'7" fire-breathing dragon, but that is a damn fire-breathing dragon nonetheless. It only weighs 195 pounds. Charizard is literally less than the weight of an American male. I'm a bit of a gym rat myself. The idea that I can bench a Charizard, a fire-breathing monster, is just insane to me. For context for you non-lifters, a 225-pound bench is a pretty common thing you'll see in a commercial gym, and that's the weight that the NFL Combine tests for the bench press. A human being able to bench press a Garchomp just feels wrong. Same with Venusaur, because there's no way in the world this dude is only 220. The worst part about Pokemon's weights being totally bizarre and lower than you would expect is that it actually has gameplay implications, unlike height. Low Kick and Grass Knot do damage based on how heavy the target is. The ranges are pretty generous, but it is possible you overestimate the weight of something and do lower damage than you expect. The big one though is Heavy Slam, which deals damage based on how much heavier the user is. So, pretty much need encyclopedic knowledge of Pokemon's weights in order to know how much damage you'll do. Fortunately, the majority of Pokemon that learn Heavy Slam are the Husky Boys, although you do have outliers like the 28-pound Appleton who can learn it. Sick 40 base power steel move, bro. Like, what are we doing with that? To illustrate my point about how light Pokemon are, we can just compare the Pokemon that are based on real animals to their real-world equivalent. Let's start with Rillaboom. Rillaboom is taller than a real-world gorilla, but weighs a whopping 100 pounds less than one, coming in at just under 200. That's a victim weight-ass gorilla. Tauros is another oddball that just makes no sense at all. All four Tauros forms of different weights with a 70-pound difference between the lightest one, which is the fire, and the heaviest one, which is just a basic combat breed. None of that matters though when a real bull is well over 1,000 pounds. Keeping with the bovines, Miltank comes in at just 166 pounds, but a real female cow is well over 1,500. Kaparaja is an elephant made of steel, and it can't even crack 1,500. Like I said earlier, elephants start at 5,000. Like, we aren't even in the right ballpark for these numbers, bro. And speaking of numbers, I don't even know how we're calculating these, because if you look at the Farfetch'd line, their weights obviously change based on how heavy their weapon is. So clearly equipment is factored into the calculation. Keep that in mind when we look at Kangaskhan, who comes in at only 175 pounds at 7 feet tall. Pretty light, right? Especially when she's got a whole ass baby with her. But no, it's fine. The baby isn't included in the weight for some reason. However, when Mega Kangaskhan evolves, her weight increases like 50 pounds. Now let me remind those of you who weren't in the trenches back in Gen 6 and 7, but all that happens to Mega Kangaskhan upon evolving is the baby hops out of the pouch and squares up. So like, I don't know where those pounds are coming from unless the fat ass baby is suddenly included in the calculation and it wasn't beforehand. I don't know. I don't understand the Kangaskhan baby. It's like it's treated as a non-combatant civilian under the Geneva Convention for regular Kangaskhan. And then for Mega Kangaskhan, the baby is treated like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Equip card. Dude, let's just move on to one of my favorite Pokemon. This is Sableye. Sableye comes in at only 24 pounds, while its Mega comes in at a whopping 354 pounds. As we can see, Sableye itself looks basically the same, so the majority of that weight's gotta be coming from the gym. This dude is a foot tall, but he's able to lift and carry around a 330 crystal. Conkeldurr is an interesting one to me because the Circus Freak comes in at 194 pounds. And like, there's no way to tell if that includes the concrete. I think it should, based on the rules we established with all these other equipments and everything, but like, a cubic foot of concrete weighs $1.50. I'm no expert on concrete, but those concrete pillars he has look way bigger than a cubic foot. Does Conkeldurr himself weigh like negative weight? Would he just fly away without the concrete pillars tying him to Earth? Would we all just float away into the ether without our earthly ties? Anyway, let's just compare Pokemon in the same weight class. Did you know the largest crab in the real world is about 40 pounds? And did you know that bridges are like a structure designed to support vehicles and people? So tell me, how is Kingler and Archaludon the exact same weight down to the decimal? And that's less than the two stupid dogs, so I don't know what the point of Archaludon is. But the one that really grinds my gears the most is Diglett. Diglett weighs like 2 pounds or something. He's really light. So Dugtrio, which is literally just 3 Diglets standing next to each other, should be like 6 pounds, right? That's basic math. Try 74 pounds. Where is this coming from, bro? Because the numbers don't add up. Except apparently Dugtrio isn't even just 3 Diglets. It's 3 Diglets sharing one same body underground. Like, it's literally just underground Dodrio. Was anybody else aware of this fact, or am I totally alone in my ignorance? And that raises my question. Does the single Diglett not just have a body underground? Like, I still don't understand what is happening, where this number came. I think I'm losing my mind, man. I think we should just stop there. Go look up your favorite Pokemon's weight. Let me know if you think it's weird. Next time, I think I gotta dig deep into some of these Pokedex entries, because like the Dugtrio lore has me rattled, dude.